And my name is Michelle Mew Epstein. I am a trademark attorney and owner of Mew Epstein Law based in Orange County. And we practice trademarks and business law. And I will be your moderator today for Bizcon's Inspirational Women's Panel. And I will be asking our panelists today for their insight in the business world. Our first speaker today is Dr. Sima Chattery.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sima Chattery, and I go by Dr. Sima G, sometimes Miss Sima, Ma Sima, or Miss C. So these are different names I use. And I'm a daughter, a mom, a wife, and a friend you can count on. I'm a former UCI professor and CEO for our Montessori preschools. We have two campuses in Irvine and Lake Forest. With this, I'm also founder of our community group, OC India Association, and OC Indian Women Group, where it's a community group where we interact and support each other. Also, I'm a SCORE mentor, organization which helps with the businesses for the new business people to help each other. So that's a little bit about myself. Feel free to reach me.
How have you been able to manage it all?
Yes, it's challenging, and there are times when I also do slide down. But I think use of technology, use of your team, uh, that's the key. I do have wonderful team. So how I define my team is family is the best team. My kids, my husband, my parents, my sisters, everyone part of my team, and they are big support to me. Um, After that, with my preschool, I do have staff, and we work together as a team for the betterment of the school, kids, parents. And then with my community organization, again, we have a team, and I believe in delegating the work. So sometimes, it's a little difficult, it's challenging, but uh, using your resources. And one thing that really helps me is my notebook. I always, you will see me carrying my notebook, and I write down everything. Even for this recording, I have everything written down, what questions are there, what I'm going to answer. And then the Google Calendar, use of technology, or on the phone using the calendar, or putting the timer uh, for making sure that I do not miss some meetings or some important uh, whether it is Zoom meetings, or it's in-person appointments. So I try to use the technology as well as the writing, because the writing part, it's very helpful. So make sure whatever comes in mind, I just write it down, and as I'm getting things done, I just cross it out. So it's your team, and it's the use of technology and use of pencil and paper, the old fashioned way, that really helps me to manage all, and then delegating time to each organization or each task. So when it's my family time, it's my family time. When it's my preschool time, it's preschool time. And then in between the evening, if a half hour, 1 hour, I have to dedicate to the community work. So giving the dedicated time for every task. We do. That's the key. And after that, all relaxing, always making sure to relax and have fun. I wear my Fitbit. I do 10,000 steps every day, or at least I try. Some days, yes, I do fall below the 10,000 steps. And some days, I have 30,000 steps, especially, events days. But again, keeping a track, I think that's the key, keeping track of your time, keeping track of your activity, what you're doing, why you're doing, how much time you're spending. That's the key.
How have you persevered through COVID, and what specific things have you done to ensure your continued success?
So during COVID time, yes, it was challenging for everyone, including me, because if you look into the Maslow's hierarchy with the positive mindset, with the pyramid of our needs, how for our psychological needs of food, air, water, they were threatened, and then safety. Uh, Everyone was so fearful. And then on the top, love, our loved ones, we were very much concerned about our loved ones. And esteem and self actualization were on the top of the pyramid, and which usually we work on in normal days, we work towards that. Since the basic things were threatened, we went from fear zone to learning zone to growth mindset. So with the fear zone during COVID time, and I tell myself, when I look back, the first week was kind of cool. you don't you don't have to get up in the morning, everything shut down. And at night you can watch Netflix. And I think uh, those first few weeks, you just enjoyed it like a vacation, even though your safety was a concern. But then after a few weeks, the things start kicking in. And then you look into, okay, now what can be done from fear zone, going from fear zone to the learning zone. And that's where the Zoom came into picture. And in the starting, very fearful of Zoom, how to connect with other people, and how I can change the virtual background, or how to share screen, how to share music. So all those things we learned. So with our preschool, we started to teach virtual preschool. With our community group, OC Indian Women, we started to do live Zoom sessions where we had a person of expertise go live and share their knowledge. So we started with the physician to know more about COVID, and then we one by one, we had live session for cooking, we had live session for how to go live on Zoom, even session with the college admissions. We had our teenagers get involved. So we did more than 300 live session with our community group during COVID time. And with the virtual preschool, first, even I thought, these kids are so young, so little, how they can sit on the screen. But the kids always surprise me. They feel connected. We did singing, dancing. We learned how to do craft together. We gave instructions to the parents how we are going to plant the seeds, and how kids are going to see how they grow. And even till now, we still have our virtual preschool program going. And we are loving it. We were able to reach, bigger community, the all over world. We had kids from Australia, kids from India, kids from Canada. They joined us for virtual preschool. So that was our COVID time. And during that time, I got awarded, for the outstanding professional from Orange County Association for the Education of Young Children. I got recognized by City of Irvine as a distinguished citizen. So that gave us a lot of time to, do a lot of research online, also a lot of time to do gardening. Right now, my garden is full of flowers and vegetables. So we had, so much of fun planting seeds, and with my kids, we played games. So there are a lot of things, during COVID time, even though it was, everyone was very threatened, uh, very, lot of fear, but still, one day at a time, one step at a time, feeling blessed, had a lot of gratitude that we all are alive. We lost some of our good friends and family members, and yes, it was tough, but then, we were like, what we can do to help each other. Sometimes, I got calls midnight that some of my friends, they were feeling, they had anxiety attack, or they were feeling threatened. What will happen? So just, being there for each other, that helped. And Also, we wrote some books during that time. So I helped my kids to write ABC book on COVID-19, and then, they got some awards for that book. So again, you have to think outside the box and how you can contribute to the society.
Have you had to make any life pivots due to COVID?
Yes, we made a lot of changes during COVID time, um, especially, with the technology, use of technology increased, and I saw the need to be more organized, because previously, everyone went to their workplace. You had your, dedicated space, dedicated time to do things. And during COVID time, everything just, intermingled. You had kids at home, they were taking their classes, you're teaching your virtual preschool, you're doing your live sessions, or, uh, I'm not getting my 10,000 steps, or sometimes, don't feel like cooking. So the routine, that's the biggest change that I can see in myself, that I wanted to make sure that I'm getting up on time every day, because no one is controlling, or no one is, determining that I have to go to workplace. So the order and routine, and that's our Montessori way of doing things. The order and routine that help kids as well as adults. So having place for everything, so the books will go there, computer will go there, or we never bring water to the computer table, or any food near computer table. So that's the order of things. And then routine, every day, waking up at same time, eating at same time. So those things really help during COVID time. And again, telling yourself what will help, what will work, what will not work. But order and routine, definitely, those are the two things that help during COVID times.
Do you have any advice to give other entrepreneurs on what they can do to be more visible on social media and or get featured in magazines and newspapers?
So I see myself, very social. If you meet me in person, we talk, we ask questions, we answer, and the same thing is true for social media also. Um, the word social means be social, means be out there. Um, Put the post out to the relevant topics, sometimes even jokes, something like, even answering, oh, it was beautiful, the picture, or sometimes even simple thing, yay. And now the social media has made very easy, some of the things comes automatically. But On social media, be social, have dedicated time in which you're checking your social media and then reply, post, be social. That's the key. And I attend a lot of workshops, and that's I did during COVID time, and even now I'm very regular in attending a lot of workshops from SCORE. That's another organization where I mentor and represent SCORE, that how the business owners can have mentors who can guide them, who they can talk to, or attend workshops on different topics. So let's say I'm not very good with social media, then I signed up for their emails, and they send us email when the workshop about Instagram or about TikTok or about Facebook or website is coming up, and attending those workshops really helped me. So if you do not know about any topic, look for the workshops or YouTube videos on that topic, and be there. That's the key. Sometimes even we don't feel like going somewhere or attending the workshop, but you know what, dress up yourself and just be there. That's the key. Reach out to the newspapers, reach out to your mentors or the people you look up to. We all have some noble people in our life, or we all have some teachers or gurus in that particular field. Follow them and see what they are doing. And that will give a very big pointer on, oh, I can do it like this. So that's the advice I have for entrepreneurs, because we have so much, we can do so much. Uh, but again, giving dedicated time and being there, that's the key. Be social on social media and be the influencer. Read, blog. I myself, I don't do blogging, but I'm more of a picture visual person. I do not do a lot of typing. You will see my answers are very short, sure or yay. But, posting pictures or GIFs, the small, animation videos, that really helps. So yeah, be out there, have time for yourself, enjoy what you're doing, and support each other, be there for each other. Give help and take help from people. That's the key. You give the input or comment, and you ask for the same, or uh, you know see it will, once the ball gets rolling, it will just trickles in. You don't have to work that much, but that's the key for all my fellow entrepreneurs. Um, Enjoy what you're doing, and be there, have fun, post, comment, like, and share. That's the key.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next panelist, Preeti Upala.
Namaste. My name is Preeti Upala, and I'm the director of the Omnia Institute. I'm also a producer here in Hollywood. I speak around the world. I have my own show called The Preeti Experience, and I'm writing my first book. I'm a global brand ambassador, and I also am a geopolitical and social commentator and expert, speaking all around the world in radio, TV, and all kinds of podcasts and platforms. Thank you.
More about the Preeti experience and what you hope to achieve with that platform.
So, what is the Preeti Experience? The Preeti Experience is an engaging interactive media platform where we interact and interview the greatest thought leaders of our time from the areas of business, politics, culture, spirituality, and sports. It's been an amazing privilege to do this. And my whole purpose is to connect the audience with these great minds and to share their journey, because I think we can all learn. so much. We are all students and we're all teachers, and I think the audience can learn so much from the greatest of minds. It's been absolutely touching to learn that I've got a fan base of and a viewership and a listenership of all around the world. And this is available both in audio and video. And there's so much more to it, but it's been an absolute joy to bring it to you. And I have a great list of guests coming up, so stay tuned and welcome to the Preeti Experience.
Can you tell us more about whether there have been any major shifts you've noticed in the areas of business since COVID and over the past year?
So COVID has really changed, I think, how we view ourselves and life, and especially business. What I've learned is people, their priorities have changed post-COVID. So now they're looking for information, they're looking for services, they're looking for products that truly are for their mind, body, spirit connection, truly are for their highest good and are truthful to them. So we're finding that these products and services are going to do very well moving forward. But also, I think you have to be authentic, because what we've learned is that time is the most precious commodity. So anything that helps us be more of ourselves and bring more of our truth and joy to the world is very helpful. People are not sweating the small stuff. They really are looking at the big picture. I think there's more gratitude. There's more humility in just the way that they operate their business. And it really is wonderful to see that. And I'm so pleased that there's this amazing change in businesses around the world.
What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who hope to also create similar platforms such as the Preeti Experience and A Pretty Life?
My advice to any entrepreneur out there who wants to pitch that product, get that show, write that book, make that business happen, is to just go out and do it. I've done that several times in my life, and it's always paid off. It's paid off dividends, and the joy in pursuing your authentic dream and your purpose is honestly the reward it is in itself. But my advice is just do it. There is never going to be a better time than the present. And just follow your dream, be true to yourself, do it for the right reasons, make sure your why is big enough so that it includes the world, and then you have a better chance of making it happen. The Preeti Experience was one such project, and I've got many others coming up. My next one will be possibly called A Pretty Life, and it's similar, but it's slightly different. So I look forward to bringing you all of these platforms, but my advice is just go ahead and do it. Nobody can do you better than yourself. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken.
What are you most proud of in your position as director of the Omnia Institute?
The Omnia Institute is a global media and research consultancy, and it is not for profit. And what I'm most proud about is that it's global in nature. I'm someone who's traveled around the world and lived in many, many different countries, and truly am a global citizen. So for me, topics that affect the world at large are important, and that's really who I am and how I view my life. So I'm proud that at the Omnia Institute we do that. We look at whether it's culture, it's philosophy, there's also things like foreign policy, conflicts, diplomacy, peace, negotiation, all those amazing things. They all have to do with borders, humanity, people, cultures, all of that wonderful stuff. And so much more. But I love that we cover, encompass the whole world and get everybody involved and engaged, and I'm making a difference, and that's very fulfilling to me. So I'm very, very proud of the Omnia Institute and to be a part of it, and hope we are able to really make a change. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Preeti. And let's move on to our next panelist, Amy Blakesley.
Hi, I'm Amy Blakesley, founder of Calm Ocean Coaching. As a conscious leadership coach, I work with leaders to help them increase their impact and create extraordinary outcomes while doing work they love. Prior to starting Calm Ocean, I was in the information technology field for over 25 years. I started out in engineering and worked my way up to leadership positions, including spending over 8.5 years in an executive role at the Walt Disney Company. Thank you for including me in the panel today. I'm very honored to be here.
Since COVID, would you say there has been any change or shifts in what people seek out your coaching services for?
Since the start of COVID, the biggest shift I've seen in both my clients and just people I talk to every day is that people are really searching for fulfillment in their lives. I think for the first time in many people's lives, they're taking a moment to have an inner reflection and ask, what am I doing here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? So COVID, as devastating as it did give us this really great opportunity to just pause and reflect on how the world works. And, we didn't have to do our commutes anymore and sit in traffic Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, right? People had the opportunity to now work from home with more flexible schedules usually, and also more connected to family. So that makes people really stop and think, why am I here? And am I finding joy and fulfillment in the work that I do? And that's not just people who are, in later stages of their career. I'm finding it from people who are in, a few years out, even just coming out of school. Did I make the right choice? The other thing that I've seen, which is not surprising, is there's just an increased level of fear and anxiety in the world. I mean, COVID itself brings up concerns around mortality, and then we just have uncertainty in the world of economics and politics. So people want to come back into a state of peace and calm and lose that fear and anxiety.
Who do you believe would benefit most from your coaching services?
The people who would most benefit from my work are conscious leaders who want to make a bigger impact at work and who also want to love what they do. So the people who typically seek me out are struggling in some aspect of their lives. It could be that they're not making goals that they're expected to make. Maybe their teams aren't performing as they should be, and relationships both in and out of work might be strained, especially if you're in a workplace that has high politics included with it. Sometimes they're not being recognized or rewarded for the unique gifts and talents that they bring to the table. And all of it leads to a sense of being unfulfilled and to not feeling good about themselves. A lot of them feel a lot of anxiety around it. So these are people who know that there's got to be an easier way to do something. And they also question, what is my purpose? Why am I here? So they're really seeking answers to these problems. And I found that a lot of these issues often come because we are disconnected to our authentic self and to our life purpose. So as I help someone discover that, it can really help bring these things into alignment for them and to create results like that they've only dreamed of in the past.
What do you hope to achieve with your clients through your coaching services?
What I hope to achieve with my clients is to help them get to a place where they feel fulfilled and where they feel they have meaning in the work that they're doing, and where they can create big results, and they can do it in a much quicker way than they ever imagined before. So that involves looking at all of their challenges, coming up with solutions. What are the blocks and barriers to getting rid of those challenges? Creating a vision for where they want to go, and along the way, discovering what is their unique life purpose. Because it's really only when we're living from that purpose that we can really create extraordinary outcomes. And I feel I'm uniquely positioned to help people through this because this was my journey. I was in technology and I feel very grateful for my experience in technology, but there was a part of it that just never, spoke to my soul, and I really didn't feel like true meaning from it. So I went on the journey to discover what my life purpose is. And my life purpose is to help other people on their journeys to understand who they are, why they're here, and to really use the power they have to create extraordinary outcomes.
What is some general advice you would give business owners as they navigate through any challenges or difficulties due to COVID?
One of the biggest challenges facing all businesses today is the tight labor market. So not only is it hard to fill open positions, but it's also becoming challenging to retain existing long-term employees. Now, there's many reasons for this, but one thing absolutely factoring into it is people's desire to do work that's fulfilling to them. Now, there's people that have left not just companies, but entire careers in search of finding this meaning. And so my advice to companies would be to help your employees to find their life purpose. What is their unique life purpose? And what are their gifts and talents that they can bring to the table and bring into your company? Because when your people start working from that place of purpose and using their unique gifts and talents, the creativity and the results that come from them are just going to be off the charts. It will benefit your company in ways that you can't even imagine. And so, sometimes people think when they discover their purpose, they have to go off and, do it somewhere else. And that's just not the case. They can do it for your company. I think it's key to stop thinking of employees as job descriptions and start looking at each of them as individuals with unique gifts to bring and infinite possibilities of what they can do for you and your company. And your company is just going to greatly benefit from this approach.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Amy. And let's move on to our last panelist, Tammy Tran.
I really appreciate this opportunity, Michelle, and the Asian Business Association of Orange County. I think I've known about ABAOC for over 20 years, and I think it's so great that this organization continues to thrive, not only exist, but thrive, and bring women together, bring Asian business leaders together, and more importantly, all of our diverse business together. We need to do more of it, and I think if we've learned anything in this COVID environment is that it's so important to build and maintain our communities. My name is Tammy Tran. I was born Jan Thi Thien Tam in Vietnamese, and I currently live in Little Saigon, California. I'm the proud mom of 2 little kids that I'm hoping to raise to be bilingual. My day job, I get to work for Southern California Edison. I'm currently the senior manager for our local public affairs.
Can you tell us more about your role with Southern California Edison?
At Southern California Edison, it's almost 8 years. I'm really surprised how fast time flies when you're having a good time. But I've been at Southern California Edison for 8 years. I first joined the company after many years working in government and local politics, and I served as Edison's senior community liaison to the Asian Pacific Islander communities. And it was one of the best jobs I ever had. I spent, most of my life and my career in politics and government working in Orange County. And so having been able to join Southern California Edison as an Asian Pacific Islander community liaison, I was able to build a community and learn so much about the API community, not just in Southern California, but across the state of California. And it gave me the opportunity to really be a champion for API communities and the diverse API communities, not just the API community in Orange County, where we have a large Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Filipino population, but also the Pacific Islanders. And in this role, I learned a lot. I was also able to serve as an advocate. I did that for a couple of years, and then continued to work in public affairs in the government relations space. My current role is the senior manager for Orange County region, where I get to work with a great team of government relations managers who serve our local cities and really push for climate action, clean energy, and really promote corporate citizenship within our local communities.
Specifically with regard to the community, what do you hope to achieve with your outreach?
I think representation. At the core of everything that we do, it's having a seat at the table, being able to participate in decision making. And I think that's true for anything that we do, whether we pursue a small business or we pursue a career in education, in government. It's so important to have representation. It's so important to make sure that there are people that look like us, that share our family histories, our backgrounds, that make decisions that impact people's lives. You know, we talked a little bit about government. I felt like that was something that, you know, I didn't seek out to do, right? I didn't seek out to work for an elected official. I didn't seek out to participate in the legislative process, but because I was exposed to how government works, I realized how much power our elected officials have, and how much power a citizen, a voter has in influencing our elected officials. And that's why organizations like the one organizing today, or these types of panels, is so important to talk about the power of representation, having people that are in positions of leadership, having people that are open to learning new things and making connections, because that's so important. Is that, you know, I may be here at Southern California Edison doing local public affairs, but it's so important I know how important it is by experience, how important it is to have connections with people that work in the healthcare space, that work in education, that work in government, or that work in housing issues, because we're all interconnected in some ways, and we all can help support each other, not only in the work that we do, but in uplifting our communities.
Have you faced any difficulties or challenges with your job since COVID, or noticed any shifts or changes in the community due to COVID?
Every single day I see shifts and changes. And I think the only thing that we can count on is that change is constant. And so I've learned, and what I've shared with my team members or other people that I work with, or things that we talk about, is that, you know, we have to embrace the change. We have to embrace the fact that things are going to be different, that there's opportunities for, there's opportunities within those changes. You know, COVID has been really devastating for our society and for the world. You know, people are grieving in so many different ways, you know, grieving the life that we knew, grieving the people that we've lost. I'm sure all of us have lost somebody to COVID-19. And I think for those that are still here, and those that are still have the ability to make an impact, we need to channel that trauma and that loss to really making a change in the way we do things. And I think COVID gives us that, you know, is tragic. It's still with us, but I feel like in every crisis, there's an opportunity for us to do things better, and to think about what's most important. And really evaluate the work that we do and how we can do things better, how we can make a better impact. You know, at Southern California Edison, COVID has changed the way we do things. I mean, I used to be out there, my team used to be out there engaging with people, you know, one-on-one, face-to-face. Over the past year and a half, we've had to do that virtually. And in fact, I think virtually there's a lot of, you know, opportunities there. You know, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation today if we had to do it in person. And so I think, you know, celebrating and really capitalizing on the changes that kind of open up access for people and open up opportunities for people to connect in ways that they didn't before is something we should really focus and hold on to. But we also need to acknowledge that, you know, there are inequities that exist that COVID really laid bare for us. You know, there are communities of color that continue to be left behind. Within our API communities, there are sections of our community that are struggling even more because of COVID. And I think that's something that, you know, in addition to looking at the opportunities, we also have to look at where we as a society or community have fallen short in terms of addressing inequity or hate against Asian, you know, discrimination against all people of color. These are things that, you know, I feel like COVID has allowed us to talk about more, right? As difficult it is to kind of talk about politics sometimes, I think it's also an opportunity for us to really address some of the problems that our society has not ignored, but has not focused on or shined a light on.
Thanks so much to our viewers for joining us at Bizcon. I love being a part of really strong women, and that's a part of reason why I agreed to be part of the moderator of this group. I hope you guys learned a lot of good information and hope that you guys enjoy the rest of Bizcon. Thank you.